Whole Foods Market has Thanksgiving gatherings covered. First things first, reserve your no antibiotics ever fresh whole turkey today, starting at $2.99 a pound. Or go with their organic spiral cut bone-in ham, full of seared-in flavor. For sides, choose Whole Foods Market grab-and-go platters. Go even further and get your whole meal catered. Just order online by November 26th. Get Thanksgiving ready at Whole Foods Market. Terms apply.
T-Mobile 5G internet keeps getting better. Boost your connection to harder-to-reach places with Home Internet Plus and get internet right where you want it.
With Wi-Fi that reaches the attic, I finally have a home office.
Get a free upgrade to T-Mobile Home Internet Plus while supplies last. Home Internet Plus starts at $50 a month with autopay and any voice line. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
During congestion, customers on this plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using greater than 1.2 terabytes per month due to data prioritization. After $20 bill credit plus $5 per month without autopay. Debit or bank account required. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies.
Ask me. Ask Eliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them. We'll read them. Then we'll give you answers. You know it. I've got it. I've got the answer. The answer. You ask me. I'll tell you anything.
Can I just tell you that after my shows in Kansas City and St. Louis, I flew to Salt Lake City for one night so that I could be there this morning so that we could do a bunch of promo with the Salt Lake City Jazz, the Utah Jazz, excuse me. Hi, I'm a mom. And the hockey club and Swig. And so I was in Salt Lake all day. And I just want to say that when I got in yesterday, I had like a full day to myself because I had to take a direct flight from St. Louis and there was only one at 7 a.m. So I went to, shout out to Club Pilates in Marmalade is the name of the area. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk to get a pedicure. And I underestimated how far it was. And if you ever have to walk under an overpass, maybe you're not in a great neighborhood. But I did. I walked all the way to a nail place next to some sort of market, and they had no ventilation, and it was really gross. And I put my feet in the water, and the water was cold, and it was really dirty. And I was like, well, sometimes nail places are gritty. And I was like, I can't do it. Like, I cannot breathe in the acetone. So I tipped the guy $5 because he'd already given Tianfu water. And I said I had to leave. And Tianfu was hiding under a pedicure chair. And I could not get her to come out. And I was just trying to...
You were trying to make an exit.
Trying to get the fuck out. I was like, I'm sorry. I really have to go. I'm like, get out. Come here. Come on, trees. Give me that. And she, all things skin and nail, the place was filthy anyway. And she's just laying under it like, this is my safe space.
Yeah, that's her best day ever.
That was rough. That was a lot of walking. But
that's horrific.
She's really into like squirreling under things lately. We went to Swig. She went under the counter where like old soda might be.
She's like a sad cat.
She's a sad cat. Needless to say, we took a bath together. She got a big bath.
Swig is a soda place?
Yeah, Emily, you need to move to Salt Lake City. It is your mecca. They have
what's happening there?
Several soda chains, and people were coming in and they were ordering, the Siberian Breeze and the Founder and the Godly Hug, like all these different sodas. And it's, coconut creamer and Dr. Pepper and fresh squeezed lime. And I'll be honest, it's tasty. Like
I've
it's
Googled
not
them.
Yeah.
What's a dirty soda? They say home of the original dirty soda.
Oh, that's because there's like a little bit of dog hair in it.
Yeah, it's just yours.
I don't know what makes it dirty. They have a lot of drinks and they've got coffees and everything and cookies because that's what you want. And these Mormons are just good looking people just chugging down soda in their F-350s, eating cookies, smiling at everyone. It is the friendliest place.
I don't like anything on this menu. Too much Dr. Pepper.
It's a lot of Dr. Pepper, and I served someone, and I was like, the Dr. Pepper is broken, which it actually was. And I was like, but I'll be honest, I'm from Texas. It is mostly root beer and like 15 spices.
They have one root beer item. Would you drink this, Eliza? It's called the Happy Camper. Root beer plus toasted marshmallow plus half and half.
No, and I'll tell you why. It's mug root beer, which as we all know, I live and die for Barks.
Yeah, they're not saying a brand. They're just saying the words root beer because they know they got mug.
You know, they got that mug deal. You got mugged.
Ooh, another one has root beer, butterscotch, and vanilla cream. That sounds better.
They had
but
like a buttery beer for
that's
kids.
the one.
Yeah, they didn't call it
Oh.
butter beer because you know it's a licensing issue.
Autumn blush.
But I really like Salt Lake City. And it's not because I'm shooting a special. They're like, I was walking around last night all by myself. I felt so safe. Everybody is so nice. And I think Mormons are just like nice. And so anyone that isn't Mormon, it kind of just rubs off because like people are just nice and that's who's there. And I really liked it. Like that desert air. My hair looked great.
I'm creating my own soda. Okay. I'll exit out of this. I'm very
I'm ordering it and it's going to show up in Ogden, Utah.
I'll pick it up.
By the way, a fan did give me a gift basket in St. Louis and there was root beer. And he kept saying one of them was for Emily. And I was like, totally. And I'm like, I'm not shipping this to her. So I think it's like a dad's root beer, some local thing. Anyways, one was for you.
Did you drink it? One?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you living the life? Look at you going out there getting root beers.
I'll tell you what, I went for a massage last night because my body was broken from all this travel. And shout out to, I want to say it's called Oriental Massage.
It can't be called that.
It definitely was. And it's definitely like a Chinese owned. They're like, we do it all.
Okay.
And the woman who massaged me was like the Chinese grandma business advisor. Like we just started talking and she was it didn't bother me, just like very financially invasive. She was like, I like your chain. How much? How much was it? And so I told her, and then I told her about my family and I have a nanny. She's like, how much you pay? And I was like, I'll tell you. Like she seemed like business minded.
Yeah.
And she, like, no lotion, just got in there. And it was the greatest massage of my life. And then she used lotion. But to start off, I was like, wow, this is really aggressive. And it was great. I'm transformed. So I had
Was this in LA?
No, this was in Salt Lake City.
Oh,
I always find like an Asian massage place. It can be on the chairs. It can be at a table. I just go. And then I ate a bunch of really salty Thai food and I cried myself to sleep. It was great. You know, you got to get it out.
And you got back today.
I did. I just got back. And we're filming this late at night because I needed to spend time with Sierra. I needed to eat my dinner.
Before she went to sleep.
Oh. And I guess this is just what I sound like after flights now. I don't know. It's a lot of changing altitudes and time zones.
Your head is full of liquids most of the time.
It sounds like an insult. Like your head is full of liquid. Look at the decisions you're making. But it is. And I don't know how to fix that.
You carry a lot of water weight in your skull.
I do. I could be so much thinner if not for
You dropped all
my brain weight.
all the mucus just right in here.
I don't know what to do. And then when I do the neti pot, it comes out perfectly.
The what? Well, I mean, it's not supposed to come out with like shrimp and stuff, right? Like what's going to come out?
Sometimes like if you're congested, it doesn't go all the way through and mine just dribbles
it
right
stops.
out.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, there's a little tunnel in there then.
Well, let's just move on.
Okay. All right, let's fight. We have a fight me from Barbie who says, love you all. Please don't be mad at my fight me.
Uh-oh.
Hey guys. I know that collecting cups is not one of your favorite things for people to do. And I am one of those cup collectors. I'm a nursing student. Yep. I love you guys. Yep. Totally liberal and love is real. However, I collect a ton of cups. And I am so glad that I do because they are really good when trying to hoard water for a hurricane. Fight me.
First of all, Barbie, you are... Thank you for being a nursing student. You are emotionally manipulative, and I will explain to you why. First, you're like, you can't fight me because I'm a nurse. So, like, no one's going to be shitty to a nurse unless you're, like, having an episode. And then you're like, I love Israel, as if I'm going to be like, oh, you like the thing I like. Therefore, I must agree with everything that you do. And then you went through the environmental emotional heartstring of like, and I'm about to be in a hurricane. Most... people with these cups are not doing it to prepare for a hurricane. So nice try, Barbie.
Neither is she, right? But
you know what else comes in handy? A bathtub. Fill it up.
Not everybody who collects cups is a monster. Sure, have a collection, great. But once you get into that territory where it's like you have a little bag for the Stanley and it has a little accessory that you carry your one ass wipe and your one Tic Tac in, and I'm That's a problem.
I've never heard you say ass before. Look, do I have a small drawer under the microwave of cups? Yes. These are cups that have been bestowed upon me. They're promotional items. There's like one from
Eliza, you live a very different privileged life where you get a lot of free cups.
I get free cups, but these are also ones that like have been given versus, and I'm sorry, there is a difference. Like I get these things and I'm like, okay, I'll keep it for stuff. And the one that I am currently drinking out of like dates pre-pandemic, and it's a Yeti. Not that that's ancient history, but people collect these as if they were precious gems. And they get them for different holidays and different seasons, and then they never use them again, and they just sit there. And then like a year from now, you're like, you know what? I don't want the red one. You go to a secondhand store, you go to Goodwill, there's just shelves of them. And so it just becomes this weird cult thing. I don't think it's any different than like Beanie Babies or anything that people start to collect in mass, but I do think the internet has glamorized the hoarding. And I put the Stanley Cup collector people up there with like the people who collect like Tree Hut products or hoard perfumes or makeup. Like it's just really bad, especially a drinking device. You only need one or two. So I will fight you.
You better be using a different one every day.
You better be rolling through them, and you better be in like a serious trauma ward where people are throwing your Stanley around and it's getting dented and people's red hot attitudes are melting them. And I don't want to, and you know what? We're past the point in our society of like, but it makes me feel good. Okay. There's a lot of things that are easier and make you feel good. That doesn't mean you do them. I screamed at what was definitely a drug dealer in a shitty neighborhood in LA the other day. And it felt great in the moment. And then I realized I had nowhere that I could drive and I had to be like 10 feet away. And then I felt really bad. He was wrong, but I pointed in the moment, it felt okay. In the moment, it felt like an empowered choice. And then as I sat at that stop sign looking at him in my rear view, I was like, this was a mistake.
I think I've told you I don't believe in car to person interactions. If you're outside my car, I don't want to talk to you.
That's for sure. And I made a mistake. I don't even know why I just told you that. That was my confession.
Thank you.
I will fight you, Barbie. Nice try. Thank you for listening to the podcast.
Providing something for us to fight.
Yeah. Thank you for making me fight a nurse who loves Israel, you monster.
Being honest. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll take it. You know what? It's a good thing you came here. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I know being thankful is on everyone's minds, and with thankfulness comes gratitude, a concept that honestly really bothers me. I'm tired of thanking everyone else. You know who deserves a thank you? Me. You deserve a thank you. When's the last time you thanked yourself? Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are doing the absolute best we can. So here I am reminding you to send some thanks to the people in your life, but mostly send some thanks to yourself. And a great way to do that is with therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. You don't have to travel anywhere. They take the hassle out of finding that perfect therapist. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Eliza today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Eliza. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Eliza50 and use code Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Eliza50 at factormeals.com/Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Eliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
All right, let's get into questions. Dear Eliza and Emily and Hot Scotty, I hope they let you out of the cupboard. You're kept in every now and then.
Oh my God, hello, thank you.
Signs of life. I've tried writing this out multiple times to no avail. I'll try to be as cogent as possible. I had some ideas about how to write this out in the shower, but fortunately I can't write them out in there, so here we go. Trigger warning for the other 5 listeners, overdose / alleged attempted suicide. So.
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah.
While I love this cultivated shorthand / sense of humor among the listeners, it does sting in a particular way when people do my jokes back to me. They're like, for the other 2 truckers who don't have access to other podcasts. And I'm like, well played, but fair play. But
So you need to stop saying it.
No, it's funny. It's funny and it's funny.
Right. It would be not funny if we had like no questions to answer and no comments on our posts.
It would not be funny if I had never said 5 listeners. But right. I appreciate you guys giving it right back to me. This is the world I created. And I made my bed. I'm going to be in it.
Okay. And actually, before we do this question, speaking of all 5 of you, we have 500 plus people on Patreon, free Patreon. Go sign up.
I got to put something on there. Yeah. If you missed it, if you're catching up, Emily and I, mostly Emily, have started.
I made you send a picture for it.
I sent you the dog. You got it, right?
Mm-hmm. And I posted it on the pet board.
I should have posted a better one because they've all seen that on my Instagram.
Well,
but
you can post new ones.
Okay, I cannot talk to you like this right now. I cannot get a tutorial on Patreon right now. Yeah, join our Patreon. What's the website? Oh, you said the show notes.
It's patreon.com/ I think it's Ask Eliza or Ask Eliza.
Just go to Patreon and search Eliza.
Yeah, it's there.
But join it. We'll put some stuff on there. Eventually, we'll probably do what Patreon does and make extra content you pay for because we have a lot of really exciting things coming up planned for this show. And I keep teasing it. What?
Okay, but the things on there right now are
I said
we're free. But also we are taking questions there. And guess what? I don't want to show too much favoritism, but we will be. Just to get it active over there.
Let's get it active.
Ask your questions. Okay, back to submit your questions. Chat there. We'll be asking it. Okay.
Let's get back to the girl teasing suicide. Teasing suicide triggers.
Oh, yeah. Let's get back to the trigger warning so that nobody's forgotten and been like, I'm okay. I can listen to this. No. Yeah. Trigger warning, overdose / alleged attempted suicide. Just over a year ago, my dad had a failed overdose, which I believe he committed on purpose. I say this because after consulting with friends with medical backgrounds, as well as doing some of my own research, I learned that the drug he took, muscle relaxants, would never have killed him, which my dad allegedly knows because he is a doctor himself. Oof. And any schmo could OD on over-the-counter painkillers if they intended to actually go through with it. When I confronted him about this, he explained it away, saying he thought that combining the drugs with alcohol would have worked. It should be noted that there's a very clear difference between a purposefully failed overdose and a suicide attempt. Sorry if I sound a little terse about all this. You'll see why.
Well, your dad tried to kill himself, so you're allowed this.
Allegedly, because we don't believe that that's what he tried to do, it seems like. My dad likes to get a rise out of people and loves to do things just to get a reaction and attention, much like a little kid. I think the overdose is an extreme example, but it worked, and he definitely got my attention as well as the attention of many of his friends. He constantly wants to be parented by others and told he's doing something wrong, then go back to whatever he was doing, repeating the bad behavior just so he can get told off again, and the cycle continues. Most recently, this means acting childish and making inappropriate jokes, drinking heavily, and using recreational drugs often. This guy's a physician or a doctor.
Is he? Or just, is he a doctor? Like, is he a doctor of like Spanish guitar studies?
On top of this, he appears extremely charming on the surface, which is especially frustrating because people always say, your dad's so funny or your dad's the best. I just nod politely and bite my tongue. He's in therapy, but only so he can collect his disability check. And he even charmed his therapist into giving him a ride home from a session one day, which I think crosses a line. My dad also refuses to be on any medication to treat his chemical imbalance due to the heavy stigma around it, but seems totally fine medicating himself in other ways. Since this incident, he's only regressed, returning to drinking, smoking heavily in place of the recreational drugs. He was supposed to go to rehab, but ended up contracting a staph infection, had to be hospitalized. He has rewritten the story, telling people, when I was sick, referring to the time after the overdose and saying he's retired when really he was forced out of his practice by his partner because he's a liability. It's especially difficult because he left suicide notes for me and my sibling, and he's acting like that didn't fuck us up at all. I put notes in quotation marks because he literally printed out a screenshot of a 2-sentence note he typed on a notes app and stuck it in an envelope.
So much work when he could have just sent you the notes app.
Just written on a piece of
Could
paper.
have just shared it with you.
It's 2 sentences.
Yeah.
He has also come back to making inappropriate jokes, even joking about suicide once. My mom was packing up baby clothes for me, and one of the pairs of baby shoes was missing its laces. My dad said something along the lines of, oh, it's so the kid doesn't hang himself. Forget the fact the joke isn't even remotely funny. I was the one who had to take all the strings from his clothes and shoes when he was in the psych ward. I tell you all this to further illustrate that he is not serious about unfucking his life or making healthy choices. His head is so far up his own ass, he is unable and unwilling to listen to anyone because he believes in his heart of hearts, everyone else is the problem. To borrow a phrase from the youths, he is, in short, Delulu. When I told him I was pregnant this past winter, he said it gave him a new purpose in life. I don't need my kid to be his new purpose. In fact, I'm worried about him spending time around my baby at all. I gave birth early. My dad didn't show up for almost 3 weeks. I know travel to Israel is especially difficult, but he has the money to do so. He just claimed he had to wait for his car that had gotten into an accident to be out of the shop. When he came to the hospital, he almost dropped my premature son in the NICU when he stood up while holding him due to his lack of spatial awareness and general clumsiness. He would also whisper weird things to the baby, like, I'll never let anything bad happen to you, and I'll always be your friend, which some people might find cute. I find disturbing.
This man is exhausting me.
It really, yeah. While he was visiting, he started drinking again. I know maintaining sobriety is very mentally taxing, but I believe he was only doing it so he could tell people how many days he'd been sober. While in Israel, he bought a bottle of rum because he claimed he would need to drink when the war with Iran started. This was back when they were threatening to retaliate. Never mind that Israel is already embroiled in a war. He just needed an excuse. Imagine if all of us here at Israel drank every time there was a threat from Iran. After 30 plus years, my parents are finally getting divorced. I've lived in Israel for the last 6 years. My parents live on the East Coast. My father says he intends to move to Israel in about half a year. He claims it's always been a dream of his. He's joked in the past, one day he'll spend more time there just to piss me off. I've tried putting up boundaries, but it shouldn't be surprising based on the above. He's incapable of respecting them.
You live in 2 different countries.
Well,
Shouldn't be
he's
that hard.
moving there. My husband thinks I should lay everything down, make it clear to my dad I don't want him around our family. I've written a letter that I haven't sent telling my dad how much of a disappointment he is as a father and how morally weak he is. But he just wants to get a rise out of me, and part of me thinks that will just be what he wants. So aside from practicing radical acceptance, how do I maintain distance once he lives here? Do I owe him anything? Will telling him off accomplish anything? To answer a question Eliza recently posed to another listener with a different parental problem, yes, part of me wants to hurt him. I'm not proud of it, but he's caused me so much pain and discomfort. I go to therapy, but I want to call upon Big Sister for her sage advice. I don't want to move somewhere else. I immigrated here on my own and have built up a life I value and am proud of. Thank you for helping me navigate this circus. Love from Jerusalem. And thank you, Eliza, for your unabashed support.
Are your parents married?
They are just now getting divorced.
Okay, sorry,
so that's why dad is coming to Israel.
Your dad's a fucking asshole and you're not going to change it. You're not. And he's clearly dealing with something that you don't know about. Like people are assholes, but it sounds like some bad things have happened to your dad. You can send that letter and I would write it and rewrite it and I would sit on it. You live in two separate countries. Even if he does move to Israel, it sounds like more of a threat. It sounds like he's saying he's going to move to Israel, which he could have done anytime these past few years because he knows it upsets you. I think what you need is peace and distance because it seems like no matter what you say to him, no matter what you express, he just enjoys bothering you. So you need to take away his joy. And by take away his joy, I mean like you can write your letter and you can say what you need to say and then maybe cut him off for a bit because you're not going to get the reaction out of him that you want. You're uncomfortable with him around your child. I don't think he would ever do anything to your child. I think he's just like a little crazy, but you both might need some distance. And then you might get something normal out of him or he'll paint you as being a bitch or overprotective. But it sounds like this guy is a liability. And it might take you taking away his joy for him to come to Jesus if he's even capable of it. Christians like Jerusalem too, so you could come to Jesus.
Yeah, he could. I would be shocked if he got it together to move there.
He's not going to move there. Again, he's just saying it because then you're like, really, Dad? And he's like bothering you. He lives to bother you.
Yeah.
You obviously represent the part of your mom that he doesn't like. He's his worst self. I would ask your mother, is Dad like this around you? Is it just you, the daughter, the woman talking right now? Or is he like this to everyone? And are you the only one that's allowed to be outwardly triggered because you're his daughter? Mm-hmm. And I know you hate the thought of your parents getting divorced and your dad being alone. Maybe you just need to take some time away. And then when you see that he is incapable of changing, it's almost a gift because then you can manage your reaction and you can limit the interactions that you guys have. You know he's going to be crazy. Great. I'm coming for 10 minutes. Great. You saw the baby. Goodbye. And you can keep him at arm's length. And if that's too much, then just don't see him.
Yeah.
But there's no reason. Like, this is not what parents do. And this is too much. And it's kind of like when you date a guy who's immature that like just really wants a mom and you're like, this isn't hot. Like, I don't want this responsibility. You're like, I'm your daughter. I don't want to be your equal and I don't want to be the parent here. I'm already a parent.
Yeah. And he wants his friends to parent him. He wants everyone else. He's like,
it's
messing
creepy and
up
it's
on
immature.
purpose to be told off. Yeah.
He like thinks it's like impish and cool. And it's like, we all have lives and you just like fake tried to kill yourself. It reminds me of, if any of you watch Industry, it reminds me of Yasmin Hanani. I don't remember the other part of her last name. The Persian British girl who's so good on that show. Her dad, who like has sex with every woman that he sees and he's awful to his daughter and she like can't stop going back to him. And we're not going to talk about what happens, but that's a perfect case study. So watch all 4 seasons of Industry and then come back to me.
Yeah. Okay. You have homework.
Mm-hmm.
A man being mischievous is a horrible, horrible thing.
Oodly doodly, the
Impish.
fucking producer that, and you can Google this, I won't go into it, who never paid me for my work in New Zealand. And you can Google Eliza Schlesinger, New Zealand fraud producer, was like that. He was like a little man who was like skinny and like, I would always joke, this was before we knew he was bad. What?
Like a little elf.
Yeah. He always had like a cool, like really bright sports car and he like thought he was funny and like made like creep jokes. And before he fucked us over, I remember saying several times, I just don't like that guy. Because that like puck type, like, I'm just a garden nymph, doodly doo. You don't like my jokes? Oh, you're mean lady. It's like it's the worst type of guy.
It really is.
It goes like impish, boy man, insurrectionist.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate podcast fan.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, at least since I've had my babies, that I smell differently when I sweat. Maybe I'm just like getting older. I don't know, but I smell differently. And I don't love that. If I'm on set or if I'm on stage or if I'm doing anything like functioning in public and I don't want sweat stains or to be aware of my stinky pits, that's when I turn to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant because it keeps me smelling fresh all day. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, under boobs, right ladies, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, your feet. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Well, unlike certain traditional deodorants that may try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code ELIZA for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code ELIZA at LumiDeodorant.com. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Eliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Eliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
All right, we have a question from the Patreon from Sarah. Am I overreacting? My cousin, who I thought considered me to be closer, invited his nieces and nephews to a kid-free wedding reception. These kids are the same age as my kids and have played together well on the rare occasions we all get together. My kids are not invited. My parents decided not to go to this wedding so that we could go because my brother and sister-in-law are coming out from New York and we can't find childcare in Los Angeles because everyone we knew would be at this reception. I'm a bit salty about the message it sent. To me, it's saying my kids aren't part of the family, but my cousin's nieces and nephews are. Also, how many think other people will straight up ignore the request for no kids?
Wait, you live in Los Angeles. The wedding's in Los Angeles?
It sounds like the wedding is in
Los Angeles because they can't get childcare because everyone that lives here has it.
Yeah, the people are traveling.
Okay.
So the parents are staying to watch the kids.
Are the people whose kids are coming, are they coming from out of town? Because if they are, that's your answer. That's the answer.
Yeah. I just don't.
It's weird to invite some immediate family's kids and not others.
It's weird.
I also don't want to do this, but like it's your cousin is a guy. Do you think his wife, soon to be wife, was like, I don't know, like she kind of was in charge of that? If you don't want to make Christmas weird, I would pick up the phone and call this cousin that you say you're close to and be like, hey, I just need to know, like, did we do something? But I do think it sounds like the people who are coming from out of town, it's like, yeah, you're not going to come in from out of town and find a sitter in a strange city for your kids. Why can't you find a sitter?
It sounds like, so it's everyone they know is going to be at this event in LA. So everyone they know in LA. So it sounds like maybe they're not local either. But I feel like all of these little rules, the problem is you can't break it at all. Like you either have to be fully no kids or let all comers come, because otherwise there's going to be hurt feelings.
Something I think it just feels weird. Something is not being said here Because if you're saying all of the cousins have kids and they're all equal, and we've all hung out the same, and you're really saying that, and randomly your kids can't come, either your kids are misbehaved and you don't know that, or the cousin who that's getting married does sound like a guy. The wife maybe cut it off randomly and he's like, I don't know. For the sake of your family, I think it's worth calling. If it is true that if you guys truly all do hang out and see each other the same amount, and all the kids are the same age, there's a difference between little kids or teenagers. Also, like, no teenager wants to be at a wedding. So there's little kids kind of have to be there. So if all things are truly equal, say something. But I would encourage you to look and think about the ages of the kids. Do you have little babies? Is that annoying for the wedding? I need more context. I just do. And I need to know where everyone lives. So please just get back to us. I sit here all day and I worry. All day.
Okay. We have the gentlest confession followed by a question. It's a dusting of a confession. Hi, bridesmaid team. Confession/question here. Anonymous, in case my direct reports listen. The bridesmaid team.
That's us. Welcome to the Bride Squad, the number one podcast on Zola, 6 years in a row.
Can you believe I've never been asked to be a bride? Oh, wait, I was for my sister, but family doesn't count. No one else has ever asked me to be a bride. I don't think I'm the party planner, though. I guess I tell people, they're like, you want to go to this bar? And I'm like, I'm not really, I'm not that fun. I don't like multiple locations.
Grab a Capri Sun and come on in.
Yeah.
I made a luau in my apartment.
Right. So I shouldn't be maid of honor. I'm not going to plan a good bachelorette party. I can say that about myself.
No, but you were my bridesmaid on my wedding day. You were the closest thing I had despite having multiple bridesmaids.
And I did lurk around early. So yeah.
I wish I could do it again. I wish I could marry you. I would take it all back and I would marry you that day. You and Blanche in a joint ceremony.
And then obviously when Blanche went, you'd have to put me in there with her. I'd be
in the coffin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the Egyptians. That's what I would do. Yep.
I just saw some post online that I didn't read any of the details of, which is my favorite kind of post, where someone's like, oh yeah, I got so mad I ate this person's ashes. And I was like, cool. And I just kept scrolling. So anyway, gentle confession.
Like the world is ending. That's not the worst thing. Moving on.
Whatever.
Okay. Gentle confession.
I am a vice president of sales for a Fortune 500 company, and I take stress naps if I have stressful meetings in a day. If I have an uncomfortable day of meetings ahead full of customer conflict, I will often cancel other meetings, claiming bandwidth in order to nap. I work from home. During the nap, I'm not really sleeping, but rather just laying there, eyes closed, under covers, watching the minutes tick by. So here's the question. I've never not been successful in my roles. I prepare, work hard, meticulously analyze situations, but these conflict meetings are horrible for my stress response. Any suggestions? I assume this is what stage fright feels like. Do you think other executives have this little dark secret too? Looking for some it's not just you advice, which is actually the theme of this podcast. Best, Anana napped.
Anana napped. Do you have to do this?
Sounds like I'm interested. Vice president of sales. It sounds like these meetings are with like unhappy customer, maybe somebody that they're selling a lot to, like they're selling hundreds of $1,000s worth of stuff and someone's pissed.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. It's like, what did you say, customer conflict?
Yeah. So they're saying that the days that she has meetings full of customer conflict, she'll take her little non-restful
I'm just trying to understand
naps.
what customer conflict actually is. It's not like you're sitting on a helpline and someone's like, I can't return my videotape.
No, you're like, she's like the VP of sales who gets called in when maybe somebody has a serious complaint.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it a client or is it a customer?
I'm going to say client.
Okay. First of all, you are well within your rights to take a stress nap. Like even a dog, when it's stressed, it'll give like a weird yawn.
Yeah.
We get tired. I know that I get tired when I'm stressed and I need to just like rest my body. And what you're talking about, this response, I have done that. I have done that where you just lay down. You're not sleeping, but you're just like actively resting and doing nothing. This is your body saying that you cannot be doing this anymore. There is no job there's nothing that is worth this. This is going to take a toll on your mental health and on your physical health. So those two are intertwined. You only get one life. We don't have that much time here and you're spending it under the covers, stressed out because you have to do this horrible part of your job. You either need to figure out a way to offload some of this, limit the amount of times you have to do this, or manage how often you do it. Maybe you knock one out on Monday, you don't have one the rest of the day, or you approach these not as customer, what are they called? Customer conflict?
Yeah.
It's a terrible name. Approach them as customer resolution. And you are the one that is in charge of making their day better and fixing this. So maybe look at it like these people have a problem and I'm the only one who can solve it. And we're on the same team. I want to get your money. I want to get you paid. Let's figure this out. But you're saying, but it sounds like you're coming from a place of like, I'm going to have to hear it and they're chewing me out. You don't deserve to live like this. So either reframe it, and I hope that you're empowered enough to actually, give them a free sub sandwich or whatever. But what's shitty,
Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, it could be Subway. But what's shitty is if you are in a position where you're just like a whipping boy and you just have to hear that, which I don't think as a vice president you are.
No.
So either reframe the way you look at this, reframe your time, or quit. Because that's a shitty way to live.
Yes, I will say I am not your doctor. I am not a doctor.
You're not a doctor.
I get very stressed about things that aren't stressful. So I went on an anti-anxiety medication and I can feel the difference in my response to meetings. It's basically like your fight or flight is screwed up. And I'll like get a meeting in my calendar and be like, feel sick about it if I'm not on meds. So I'm not saying you need to go on meds, but there is a level at which it's like, okay, your response to this is outsized. And I can tell the difference in days that I forget to take it. And there are meetings where I'm like nervous to run them and days when I'm fine. So it could also be, you could be anxious and that's also okay.
We also all over-index on stress for things that are not stressful, be it travel. Like I will lay in bed if I know I have an early flight and I am sweating stress. And I try to have talks with myself where I'm like, you're fine. You're not going to miss it. You've never missed one. Like I try to like logic my way out of it.
Yeah.
But is this really how you want to live your life? And I also think about executives I've dealt with. Sometimes I'll have an executive on a project who's just like, yeah, I went surfing this morning. Life's all good. Everything's good.
Yeah.
And even though that person is a golden retriever, I have an agent who's kind of like that, like always in a great mood. And I'm like, I equate that with a lack of intelligence. No, part of me is like, they're right.
Yeah.
Like, is your life good otherwise? Then come to these meetings like, what's up, you guys? Let's get this solved. Like 30,000 foot, like of all the things that you've resolved, if you look back a few years ago, like, was that worth it? People want to be heard and they want a solution. And you are there to give it to them because you're the best at this. Maybe go into it like, how do I make this person really like me? It sounds like you're not empowered to fix it. And that's a bigger issue. Like by your job, I mean.
Right. Yes. When you're there and they're yelling because they're like this at the Subway, they didn't tessellate the cheese. It's all in a lump.
What if you met it with just as much ire? They're like, and this happened with the coupons and this guy. And you were like, that's messed up. And I'm sorry that happened. They'll be like, hey, Kristen, take it easy. You're like, no, fuck. That's fucked up. I'm going to call accounting right now.
I will say there are certain meetings where if I know I'm 100% right, I'm fully arguing with like an executive. And then after the meeting's over and I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that. That like wasn't, because I could not even argue with you. I think argue is even too strong, but I could be like, no, Eliza, that's not right. This other thing is right. And you would, and if I was right, it was like, oh, okay. Like at a corporate job, it's a little different.
Bottom line is, this is not the job for you. This is not how you want to spend.
VP of sales, I think, do your naps. No one's coming at you. You're not saying anyone's like saying, hey, we couldn't reach you. Do your naps.
Try to manage like all the things I said already. I listen to the podcast and I realize I repeat myself. But you shouldn't be in a fight or flight response for doing a desk job.
I know, but I am.
Okay, well, that's bullshit. Like we have so little time on this planet. We should be doing the things that we like. And I can't say that I always follow this, but like even today, we were talking about the routing for next year and it was like tacking something on a Sunday. And I was like, I don't want to do it. Like I've been doing this for like 20 years. I'm tired. I don't want to go out on a Sunday. Yeah. And they're like, okay, don't. I was like, I'm not gonna.
They're like,
you are the architect.
We all work for you. Sure.
Yeah. You got to teach people the way to treat you. So either reconfigure that schedule in a way that works, reconfigure that job, leave that job, or approach it differently. These are your options.
Get some meds.
I don't like that one.
That's what I'm here for.
You're medicating yourself because of a job? Do you love this job otherwise? Not you, her.
No, I'm saying I'm medicating myself for every job.
I got thoughts about you.
To work a job.
Did you medicate yourself for me?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's not me, obviously. Then if you're doing it for every job, it's not personal.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You just need medication in general.
Right.
Okay, well, then you can't give the advice that it's for her job.
I would guess that this person has outsized anxiety responses in other situations. But yes, obviously she shouldn't just go be like, Emily on the podcast said I should start taking citalopram. And I would like 20 milligrams.
This is just going to come off as people saying I'm shaming people for mental health. But I feel like in my stances on Israel, I've gotten rid of those types of people who listen to the podcast. So I'm not. I'm just saying we don't deserve to be miserable.
No, we don't. That's why I'll take the meds. Okay. We're going to do an important question, an emergency, I would say. Help. I'm about to get a shitty nickname. Hello, Pod Crew. First, thank you all so much for keeping me laughing every single week. I've been a huge fan since I was in college and stumbled upon one of your Netflix specials. I've shared your work with everyone that will listen. I am a 26-year-old female physical therapist with my doctorate, and recently, thanks to advice that Eliza has given to other listeners, left my first professional job and started a new one last week for higher pay and fewer responsibilities. The true American dream.
See how easy it is? She's got a doctorate and she left. You hear that, Subway? Subway VP?
Our VP of a Fortune 500 company, yeah.
She's VP of Meats and Cheeses.
I would love that title. Background. One of my coworkers has the same name as me and is spelled the same. This person's name is Megan. She said she would go by Meg because that's what her family calls her, but I figured that would be tough on my other coworkers because they've called her Megan for over a year. The problem. One of my coworkers walked up today and said, I'm going to start calling you Deuce since you're the second Megan. She seemed very proud of it, but I was stunned. Obviously, I don't particularly want that nickname to catch on, but I feel like I needed an alternative option. Some of my previous patients would call me Smiley, and I liked that nickname because I am generally very happy.
Because I'm a crazy person.
Doing my job and helping people. I'm a
crazy clown.
I don't want to just assign myself a nickname, but I really don't want the crappy nickname. With the resurgence of your poop jokes, which are always funny, I'm hoping you can offer some advice before my name goes down the toilet. Thank you for all you guys do every single week, Megan, aka hopefully not Deuce.
Deuce. It would be cool if you were like a tennis player. You definitely don't want to be Deuce. You also, it sucks to be the second one.
Yeah.
Like I was Megan my whole life. Here's what you do. Outside of your office, you write a list of acceptable nicknames, and then you should also leave lines to have people fill them in. Like dangle candy in front of them and just like ignore the Deuce thing. And just make like I don't think people will start calling you Deuce, but if someone does, just be like, not my name, not into it, really hate it. How about I call you shithead and then kick him out of your office? You could just be like, I don't want to be named after a turd. I'm sorry if that like triggers you.
Well, right. Right.
Because you can't, we've all seen the Seinfeld where George tried to name himself T-Bone. You can't give yourself a nickname.
Especially a positive one. No one wants to hear you call yourself Smiley.
I feel like you're at such a point where like anything else offered, you'd be like, great.
Yeah.
Toilet. Great. So I would make a little post outside of your office now taking submissions for nicknames. And then pick one and then just put it on your door and be like, Megan, AKA, and then like make it like you're in on the joke, but just ignore the Deuce part. Like you're still going with the spirit of it. It's also annoying that some girl's like, I'm going to call you this. Like you're a bunny. Like I'm going to call you Fluffy. That's annoying.
You just have to tell this girl like, oh, that's so clever, but also it means turd. So no
Why don't you just say, pick a name you want and it can be easy. Like, first of all, why don't they call you Meg and she can be Megan?
Right.
Why don't they call you M
Meg?
and she, like, why do we need this full-on departure?
You be
from
Megan
your name?
Z.
Pick a name that you want and say to her, be like, in college, my friends called me Handjob Queen. So if you want to just call me that around the office.
No.
They call me Super Beach. And if just in the office, if you want to use it, or just like on deal memos.
Start getting it going.
Yeah, they call me Wet and Wild. But you could do that. Just be like, in college, everybody called me like Double M, like Mega Meg or something. If you want, just don't give oxygen to that person. And I would make your own game. Don't include her. That way people are like, oh, we're going to come up with something fun. She'll be like, what about douche? They'll be like, nah, like they'll just naturally just give it less oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah. But good luck.
I mean, what'd you say? You have a doctorate? I wrote it down. Physical therapist. You have a Mandarin? What did she say she had?
I don't remember. Now I have to go back.
It wasn't a regular word.
She says, female physical therapist with my doctorate.
Yeah, you have a doctorate. The other girl's name is Megan, and they cannot for the life of them come up with another version of Megan. What's your last name? She's like,
actually, her last name is very specific in a way that you don't want that to be your nickname.
Is it butt sex, but it's
yes.
spelled like BUTH.
Yeah.
ESK.
KK. Umlaut. Yeah.
Just go by your last name. Keep it super
Don't
chill.
Go by your last name.
Megs, Megatron, Megalopolis.
Go by Megalopolis.
Dude, go by Megatron. Nicki Minaj, and you can play her song every time. Yeah, just go by Megalopolis, like whatever. Meg F and Meg P, whatever. The people in your office are idiots. I don't want them touching my knee. Next question.
Eliza, I've been a fan for years, and I'm recently addicted to your podcast. I love listening to your banter and feeling like a human again after the day of working and raising 3 kids. Oof. Okay, here is my dilemma. I'm asking you specifically because I know you love your pooches, so I'll religiously take your advice here. Context.
You said it. You said it.
So many animals because we love animals. We live in Seattle, have 3 kids ranging 1 to 8, and we have 2 dogs, 2 cats, 4 pet mice, a betta fish, a rabbit, and a small crew of quail in the backyard that we hatched from eggs with an incubator as a science experiment with my school-aged girls. We have fostered kittens through the local shelter, bottle-fed orphan newborn rabbits, and I worked at a horse camp as a teenager. I swear to God, I am an animal person.
Yeah.
Here's the situation. Before I met my husband and pre-kids, he got his first baby, a Pomeranian mini Aussie puppy he named Zoe. She's now 17. She's fully blind, fully deaf, has dementia, but does not seem in pain, and still likes treats and leans in for scratches. Because of her dementia, she gets kind of lost and pees inside. It was like 1 rogue indoor pee a day for a few months last year. My husband started diligently intercepting her anytime she was up from an old lady nap to take her outside. However, this has escalated so that her frequency of relieving herself is every 90 minutes or so. She also poops inside now. Please imagine yourself as me at 3 a.m. trying to make a bottle for my youngest who doesn't sleep through the night, baby on my hip, barefoot, stepping in dog shit. All 3 kids have stepped in dog pee barefoot this week because I didn't find it fast enough. We try to crate, but she just whines and is distressed. Plus, if she's locked into a small space and soils it, that seems inhumane. We tried diapers, but she chews them off. My husband will never forgive me if I pester him into putting her down. This man, and I quote, said, "We don't just get rid of grandma because she's old." Guys, she's taking way too long to die. It's been doggy incontinence for 13 months. This is breaking me. What do I do? Chelsea. I actually have experience with this.
Go on.
I know she's asking you, though. Do you want to go first?
I have my answer.
What's your answer?
Okay, so you know how dogs aren't supposed to eat chocolate?
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. No. My answer was going to be a diaper. I don't want to hear that a 17-year-old dog has like super healthy teeth and chews these things off. So duct tape the diaper.
Yeah.
And then just cut it off. And dogs learn new tricks. Snap at her, spray her with water every time she goes to chew it off. That way she learns to just live with it. So you have to retrain her for that because she's probably not long for this world at that age. That is your only hope. And it's either snap at her for chewing at it or step in a bunch of crap every time you get up. So that's what I would do. I would tape it on. I would not tape it to her fur. I would just make sure she couldn't chew it off.
Itself, yeah.
Or you could put it like a small cone on her.
Maybe a cloth diaper she couldn't chew off.
Washing a cloth diaper.
Full of dog
I don't
poop.
have time to step in it, but I have time to hand wash a cashmere dog diaper. All right. What's your answer?
So my parents just went through this 13 months of a dog going to the bathroom inside their dog, August. And it was tough because like you, my mom was like, I can't tell your dad that he needs to put this dog down because they were retired. My dad was taking her out every 90 minutes. She was still peeing all over the rug inside. There were pads everywhere. There was pee everywhere. There was poop everywhere every day.
We get it.
But she's like, I can't tell him to put this dog down because it'd always be like, you made me do it. So we just waited and waited. And eventually it got, she couldn't hold herself up. So then our next dog got old. And this time my dad's like, well, I can't tell your mom to put her down. It's like, you have to look past that and be like, what is this dog's quality of life? I know it's annoying to clean up these poop. It's not going to be another 13 months.
What is your answer here? You're just telling us the story.
I'm saying
it's not.
It's not going to be another 13 months. What is the quality of like look beyond the poops and pees? I know the poops and pees are annoying.
Okay.
Is this dog miserable?
Long story about your family and their incontinent dogs.
But I'm just saying I've been there with the incontinent dogs and you is this dog happy or is it not?
I think it's a sign that this is like we're near the end.
Yeah.
She's saying the dog seems happy. And if you've taken it to a vet and the dog's not in pain, which you don't know because dogs are pretty stoic, if the dog's not in pain and it's just kind of bumping around, it's not, I don't know if it's up to us to be like, well, we can end your life. I would do the diaper thing and just hold on a little bit longer because it will be better after she's gone for you and your husband's relationship.
Buy little plastic cones like they put out when there's a spill in a store and put them around all the poops and pees and tell your husband, you got to clean up the poops and pees.
No, that's not right. This is your animal together maligning your husband like because of this dog. Like, no, you're a team. It's not like he bought a tractor that's spilling oil everywhere and you're like, that's your thing. Like, this is his baby and you love this dog. This marriage, as you know, is work. You're doing this together. It just sucks. Maybe at night she goes in one room. How about that? She's just in just something
covered in pads.
Or get a little fence so she could be in your room, but she's in her fenced-in area, so she's not in a cage. But do the diaper thing, and it won't be long, unfortunately, because I think nobody's like incontinent and like thriving.
Have you ever seen, because I have, a poop or a pee or a throw up on the floor and then just pretended you didn't see it? Because if somebody else sees it, they'll have to clean it up.
As a child, yes.
Never as an adult?
No, because we only have one rug in the house and it's really nice. So it needs to be dealt with.
It has to go.
I bought that rug. So
when I see a poop or a pee or a barf at my parents' house, I'm like, I didn't see anything. Totally. I don't know what's happening.
That's their dog. I get it.
All right. Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
I have a good one.
Let's do it.
And just by good, I mean it's like finally specific in the way that you like. Well, do you want to do fan first or me first?
You could.
Okay, I'll do mine.
Okay.
The litter that I buy for the cats has a new way that it opens that's so much easier. For years, I've been taking this litter and I've had to like grab nail scissors or something because it's upstairs. I'm not bringing the kitchen scissors up and jab it in and try to like rip a hole into this box. No, they've designed a new thing where your thumbs punch easily through the hole. My life's better now. Thanks,
like that.
litter.
Yeah, little thing.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you. Means it's a thing you got to deal with. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Fan top. Hi, Eliza and Emily. My top of the cob is that I got to see Eliza perform at the Fox in Atlanta this weekend. No, I'm sharing this because I brought my husband, my neighbor friend, so we cried laughing the whole time. My maybe creepy goal was to try to spot Emily in the crowd, and I did. On my way out, I saw her and said hi and made her shake my hand. I immediately recalled you both talking on the pod about how women shaking hands is weird, and I instantly regretted my actions. I just got so nervous and excited and didn't know what to do. Sorry, Emily, for making you shake my hand. Seeing Eliza perform felt like seeing a friend. I was just so proud to see you kill it. Much love to you both. You made my night. A fan forever, Hannah. Now, I think it's very funny that you're just setting up your fans to fail in so many ways. We're like, don't wear this kind of shirt. Don't shake a hand. Don't make eye contact.
The shirt thing has to do with what men should wear. This is all helpful. These are just, when you meet me, I'm a nice person. These are just the way I see life and other things of my autobiography.
I don't remember being devastated to shake a hand. I'm sure that it was perfect. And I might have extended my hand because I don't know what else to do.
Just because you shouldn't doesn't mean we don't. Like, we all do it. There's a lot of things we shouldn't do, like fist bump, but like people do it. I hate that. I don't fist bump my kid. It's such a hey, buddy. It's like calling your kid buddy. It's like calling your sexual partner buddy.
But do you prefer someone having your kid do a fist bump or being like, oh, up top, like a little high five for the
Even
kid?
a high five is lame. Like, we're not like a high five. It's just like, good job, buddy. High five. Like, verbal praise is fine.
Family.
You know what? When you score a goal, then you can deliver a high five. Yeah. My top is, even though traveling with Tianfu is slightly difficult just because I have to walk her in the morning, like you're taking care of this other thing, I love the way people's faces light up when they see her. I just do. We're walking. I love the way grown men's faces light up. How it immediately softens people when they see this dog. And it's dogs in general, but they see her. And even the meanest looking person's like, oh, puppers. Like, I just like it. I like when people stare at her and they ask about her. Like, it's a really nice way to move through society, having the friendliest conversation that both people want to be involved in. People want to ask, I want to tell. When I see a cute dog, I want to ask, they want to tell. I love telling her story. I love how much they love her. And then I love the shock on their faces when she disappoints them by lashing out at a service dog. But it is just, it's also very funny when people just unprompted are like, her legs are so little. And I'm like, they're normal. She just has like a lot of fur, just normal. But people have no problem body shaming her. She's got little legs. Well,
I feel like they probably like it. They like that she has little legs.
They do. Like, one guy catcalled her from across the street. He's like, look at that dog's little legs. So and that's it. I just love having a dog softens the world. And I love it.
Yeah. My bottom is when you have a project due, but you can't like speed up working on it. I need to record a commentary tomorrow night. So I'm not going to get done till tomorrow. And then I'm going to edit it when I'm on a plane to New York Wednesday. Ideally, it's due Friday. So it's just knowing, like, I know I have to do this thing and I can't edit it until I've recorded it. And I can't record it until the person I record with is available. Like,
yeah,
I just hate knowing that it's coming and I can't pre-prep. It stresses me out.
Yeah. Not being able to work on something. Yeah. We have a project we sold, and like for 6 months, I've been like, can we just have the notes call to get the notes? They're like, not yet. And you're like, really could have written it this whole time. No.
Right. Yep. You can't start until you get that next piece.
Can't start until it's almost over.
Yeah. All right. Fan bottom. Hi, Liz and Emily. My fan bottom is that I just moved into a new house in a quiet neighborhood and hadn't gotten around to putting a doorbell camera up yet. My teenage daughter texted me from the school bus one morning saying a boy she didn't know tapped her on the shoulder and said, something happened at your house number last night. Oof. And that was it. Of course, this made my child uneasy for the rest of the day. That evening, the neighbor mom across the street knocked on my door to introduce herself and explained what happened. Apparently, for years, her teenage son has had beef with another student at a different high school, and this boy mistook our house for theirs, pulled up at 8:41 p.m. the night before, walked up to our house, and peed all over the front porch. Supposedly, he filmed it and shared it with a bunch of kids on some group Snapchat or something, and our house number was visible in the video, which is how the neighbor boy knew it was our house and kindly, albeit vaguely, told my daughter. Needless to say, we immediately bought outside cameras that same day. Ugh, teenagers. Thanks for all your work. Love the team. Love the pod. Been a listener since episode 1 in the days of Blanche when you still called Emily Baby Arm. Much love. Pissed off parent. Pun intended.
Pissed off parent. Teenage boys are, in a lot of cases, school shooters. Absolute nightmares. I mean, not all of them, obviously. That is so terrifying. And while we do live in a weird surveillance state, I love the Ring camera thing because I have used them. These kids were like ding dong ditching and we got them on camera because kids are dumb. And I wrote a letter to like the neighborhood and I was like, I don't know whose kid this is. And that mom made that kid write an apology. He's like, my mom and I talked about it and I'm really sorry. I just love that it's like, yeah, nice try, asshole. Like you could find out who that kid was for sure. So definitely breathe easier, but that's eerie for your daughter. And also like, how are you going to plan that much revenge and not even know where your enemy lives? Like that's all fucked up.
It's just so disgusting.
You could easily find out who that kid is and make him come clean it up. But he probably has the kind of parents that would be like, he's just expressing himself with a wiener.
But the fact that the neighbor came over like, oh, yeah, sorry, he was confused. He meant to pee on someone else's porch, which I would have been fine with. But sorry, you got caught in the spray.
On the one hand, it's harmless. On the other hand, that's animal behavior. You need to march back over there and be like, clean it up. Or just like always give her the cold shoulder. But like therein lies the parenting.
How did the mom find, like, was the son like, oh, hey, mom, I pissed on Jimmy's porch? And she was like,
Probably.
no, sweetie, they moved. Oh, no.
That's funny. They were probably having their nightly beer and a high five session. She's like, what kind of territory did you mark today, Jensen? I was like, check it out, mom. Look at my dick. I did.
This is a horrible way to end the podcast. You can't say, look at my dick, but a son and mother. You better have a really good.
That's why we don't end on the bottom.
You need to do your bottom now and save us from this.
I don't know what's scarier, idiot kids or parents. Every time a kid's an idiot, I'm like, look what raised them. My bottom of the cob is, and I don't remember touring being this way for most of my career, I cannot get a good night's sleep in any hotel in America. I make the mistake of staying downtown because that's where the venues are. And America's cities, for the most part, like a lot of middle America cities are like totally gutted. Like downtown St. Louis was like a ghost town. And city planning hasn't evolved enough to put nicer hotels farther outside of downtowns because downtowns used to be like the epicenter for everything. So what happens is it either is just people staying there and they're just drinking and people are loud, or, and I've noticed this even in Salt Lake City, people just drag like their cars, like drag racing, and it reverberates. I had the worst night's sleep of my life in Kansas City the other night because it was every 5 minutes just and you try to plan ahead when you book hotels. Like when I was in Indianapolis, I stayed near a bus transfer, whoops-a-daisy. And the hotel this last week was like across from like a build your own daiquiri bar. But like,
ooh,
there's no, definitely not cool. Like a Mardi Gras themed daiquiri bar outside of New Orleans. Like, what are we doing?
Having fun.
Okay, it wasn't build your own. I was just joking, but that's obviously like your favorite part. It's just, you're staying in these like relics of what used to be centers of industry. And it's just absolute delinquents at all hours. And because it's downtown and there's no trees planted, it's just noise reverberating. And there's no other option. Like, unless you want to stay at like a bed and breakfast or like a Hampton Inn and Suites in the suburbs, it's just rough. I don't know what to do.
Even if it was the coziest hotel, I think I just can't sleep outside of my normal surroundings. Like, I feel like you could probably be in the nicest hotel and you're still not going to sleep well.
In Salt Lake City, people on a Sunday night, their Nordstrom wasn't even open on a Sunday. On a Sunday night, people were opening and closing doors in the hallway every minute on the minute till like midnight. And I was like, where the fuck are you going?
They were amped from all their sodas.
Oh my God, they were. I might just have to start spending like stupid amounts of money at hotels. And even that's not guaranteed a nice night's sleep. I'm talking to you, St. Regis in New Orleans. I had to change rooms at 3 a.m. because of all the weird noises coming out of the walls.
Like
it's
a ghost?
Oh, just like the AC and then the water. And then there was a weird rattling and you're just like, can I get a quiet room? Can I get a quiet floor? Like the whole purpose of these things is to sleep. So I know that this is like a champagne problem, but it's actually not. This is actually like really affecting my health. I need to sleep.
When I stayed in a Best Western, there was a rattling and I was like, oh, I guess this is the luck of the draw. I didn't even think about saying, could I go somewhere else?
Yeah, you can change rooms and it's a Best Western. I was going to say you get what you pay for, but apparently you're just fucked wherever you go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So Like, I don't want to hear the bar downstairs. I don't want to hear a bridal party screaming. I don't want to hear doors shutting. I don't want to hear shitty people drag racing their Hondas up and down an abandoned street. Like, it's just, I'm just going to have to start staying at someone's house in the suburbs. And then some kid's going to come pee on the door and ruin the whole thing. Thanks. I'll see you in Coachella, not the festival, the city. I'll be at the Casino 29 in Coachella this weekend. And then we're coming to you, Charleston, Charlotte, and Raleigh-Durham. These shows are going to be hot fire, and we're gearing up because we're shooting that special. I have the name of the special. I have the pants. We have the right shade for the spray tan. We'll see you in Salt Lake City on November 2nd. And until then, remember, children, it's not the quantity of nap you take at work. It's the quality. It's the quantity.
The first ever Kia K4 seamlessly combines bold style and advanced tech. With striking star map LED headlights and an available panoramic display, the Kia K4 delivers design and function. The available surround view and blind spot view monitors can help provide added confidence. Plus, Sirius XM comes standard, bringing you closer to what you love. The Kia K4 balances aesthetics and innovation. Learn more at kia.com/K4. Surround view and blind spot view monitors may not detect all objects around or behind the vehicle.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to laughing around the table, sharing stories, and making memories. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy being together. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.